because of his physical size. You get a feeling right there for the kind of cold air he's looking for. This second half, by the way, with that sun creeping across the field and the heat escalating, and the heat will be held in this carpet, could be a big problem for some of the bigger men. First half statistics, as you might expect, an edge to the Cowboys, but not nearly as much so as we saw in the first quarter. Now, much of that difference coming on the one long drive. Passing yardage 5 for 9, not bad for Danielson. 10 for 12, excellent for Danny White. But the big mistake, the big turnover, that interception makes all the difference in the world. What could have been a 10-7 game, or at least a 10-3 game, now still remains a 10-0 game.
The Browns will get the ball first. That last drive that ended with the interception by Walls at the goal line featured Cleveland overcoming a 2nd and 33. Danny White, good numbers, 9 for 11 and 72 yards. Left the field for one play. Wind knocked out of him, and Gary Hogeboom came in to deliver a pass and a first down to keep a Cowboy drive alive.
One of those passes belonged to Hogeboom, by the way. We better not give Daddy credit for all of them.
So, with that sun in that open spot on the roof now growing so that most of the entire playing surface in sunshine, and that's not good news for the players.
And one of the things you do if you're the home team, you try and make the visiting team uncomfortable. Here they put you facing the sun. They put you in the heat. You see the left side of your picture there. That's the Brown sideline. They're not only looking right into that sun, but let me tell you, it's probably 10 to 15 degrees hotter over there than it is on their sideline.
And it's hotter in dark uniforms. The Cowboys also wear the white in the heat. Glenn Young at the 1. Young just across the 20-yard line, and the flag goes down. The last kickoff return by the Browns, they were guilty of a hold, and this is a block in the back that'll take them to the 10-yard line once again.
Unfortunately, a number of mistakes by the Cleveland Browns here in this first half, and yet, Dick, with all the problems.
Back, number 47, illegal block above the waist. Half the distance, 10-yard line, first down.
Larry Brazil, number 47, guilty of the push in the back. With all of the problems that the Browns have had offensively, because of that rock rib defense, they are still very much in this game. And if their offense can get it on track, you've got to believe that there's been a heavy conversation in that locker room about the importance of scoring. They can get back in this game.
First down, always a key. 4.8 yard average for the Browns. For the Cowboys, more successful, 6+. Danielson throwing on first down. Oh, threw it behind Ozzie Newsome, and Michael Downs was right there for Dallas. The penalty statistic, it becomes an important one in the game. The Browns have been penalized 50 yards. The Cowboys do not have a penalty.
Error-free football in that way from the Cowboys. The Browns employing a single back set. Most of the time in the first half they employed 2 backs. You see Robert Jackson coming in to deliver a play to Gary Danielson from the sideline. Again, single back.
He's got Young and Adams to the left, Newsome tight end left, and Holt tight end right. Kevin Mack the fake, and he didn't take the ball. I believe Danielson wanted to give it to him. Jim Jeffcoat gave it to Danielson.
Could well have been a blown audible. It appeared that Kevin Mack realized his mistake as he hit the line of scrimmage. At the end of the play, watch the look on Kevin Mack's face. We won't see his face, but watch him now as he gets to the line. Look at what he does here.
He
knows that he made a mistake. And let me tell you, that's the kind of play that stays with you on the plane going home, and you just dread looking at the films tomorrow.
Third and between 11 and 12. Danielson in trouble again, and down he goes at the 12. A gain of 3. Victor Scott and Randy White to stop the quarterback of the Browns. So the Cowboys are going to get the ball in good field position. Cleveland not able to overcome that start at its own 10-yard line.
Dick, when you open up with your back to your own goal line, there are certain plays you just can't afford to run. You don't want to make a mistake. You don't want to run too many risky plays. end result, often you end up kicking from your end zone.
43-yard average for Gossett in the first half.
Short.
Well, it's a bad kick, and it goes out of bounds inside the Cleveland 40-yard line. Gossett had almost too much time. A dying spiral that was spinning back toward the Browns goal line and out of bounds at the 37, just 25 yards for Gossett.
The Cowboys wrote their own script for the first quarter of this game. They couldn't have written a better beginning for the second half.
So from the 37-yard line, Danny White with Tony Dorsett and Timmy Newsome as running backs. Both Renfro and Hill wide receivers to the right. Tight end Cosbie to the left. White throwing on first down, and it's Hill in the grasp at the 30-yard line. Tom Cousineau with a tackle. Well, 2 weeks to go. In fact, 2 weeks from today, the baseball regular season will end. Pittsburgh making it tough on the Mets with a 2-0 lead early at Shea. Milwaukee 1-0 against Toronto, but the Blue Jays all but a lock on that American League East. And of course, later it'll be Kansas City hosting Minnesota. The Angels on the West Coast tied with the Royals take on the Cleveland Indians, and we will have the key games for you in the pennant race next Saturday on our baseball game of the week on NBC. Dorsett. They forced him wide, took his blockers away, and out of bounds goes Dorsett with a loss at the 32. Little Frank Minifield, number 31, up there to force the run.
Excellent penetration by number 56 Chip Banks. Banks forcing that play wide, as you saw. Dorsett having to go around the big stack of bodies. Anytime you do that, you put that cornerback in excellent position to come up and make the tackle for a loss if he can make it. Of course, Minifield made it in that case.
Former Southpaw quarterback in high school, Chip Banks, and then an All-American at Southern Cal. 3rd and 4. Going long, but too long for Tony Hill. Frank Minifield on the coverage. Minifield only 5'9", and a flag is down at the line of scrimmage.
And finally, the Cowboys are going to be tagged with a motion penalty. Chip Banks, who ordinarily plays at left end, had moved over to right defensive end on that play to get some pressure, try and get some pressure on Danny White.
This is a tough call here for the Browns. Now, do you take the penalty and give the
offense? Illegal formation, right side of the line. Refused. 4th down.
They're going to make the Cowboys try the long field goal.
Here's number 56 Chip Banks in a 3-point down position, and they're running a stunt to free up the inside man, 79 Bob Golick, who got in and got good pressure on Danny White, the quarterback. The penalty is refused. Septien will be going for a very long field goal.
49 yards. And just as he hooked his extra point try, he misses to the left on the 49-yard field goal attempt. So the score remains 10-0. The Cowboys lead as Septien wide left from 49. 12:35 left, 3rd quarter.
Yeah. Okay. It's fine. Let's try something with it. We still haven't done Ozzie, and we can do it from the back side of the offense here, can't we? All right, let's do that motion thing and talk about why they stop and turn their heads and the rest of it.
Who do the Browns play next week? You know? And would you ask Axelm if Creme Fraiche, the winner yesterday of that big Derby, Louisiana Derby, is eligible for the breeders when we do that promo?
You see my stat sheet? It's in a black folder. Have you seen my stat sheet? There it is, over there. My stats are over there in that. Right. Underneath here. Aren't those mine? No, those aren't mine. Where the hell are they?
At Houston.
Today's game is brought to you by Coors Light, the Silver Bullet. There's no slowing down with a Silver Bullet. By Chrysler Plymouth, who invites you to discover the new technology of driving at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer. And by Kentucky Fried Chicken. We do chicken right.
After the missed field goal, the Browns take over at their 31-yard line. Kevin Mack. Oh, what a good play by Michael Downs. Free agent from Rice, 6'3" and 204, and he met Mack head on, and no forward progress by the big Cleveland runner. And again, well, not at all. That's where they spot the ball.
Dick, when you have a down year, and it's interesting, the Cowboys at 9-7 consider that a low mark. In fact, it talks about their expectations as a team, but you don't get the recognition for your players that you deserve. Now, Michael Downs had the kind of year that should have brought him to the Pro Bowl, but because of the Cowboys record, did not go.
2nd and 10 for Danielson. Screen it, and Mack in big trouble, and a loss of 5 back at the 26. Jim Jeffco, 77, and Too Tall Jones, 72.
One of the things you try to do to get the pressure off your quarterback when he's under heat is to run screens and draws. However, when you get that kind of reaction, that doesn't help either.
Danielson with the messenger guards coming in. That's been a Cleveland tradition going back to the Paul Brown days. Those guards bringing in plays from the sidelines. Len Young split right. Willis Adams to the left on 3rd and 15. Stunt, and the throw complete to Young, short yardage at the 30. It'll be 4th and 11. Well, the Cowboys had a defensive stunt on by their front 4.
Chance for you to watch it at home. Jim Jeffco right here is going to drive inside very quickly. Now watch Randy White coming from the inside. He'll go all the way around to put pressure on the quarterback. Still gets it away. Good job by Danielson under pressure.
Gossett, whose last kick was good for only 25 yards, hits this one a little bit better, not much. Bates a fair catch at the Dallas 35-yard line. Now the Cowboys have the ball. 11 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. The punt good for 35 yards.
Yeah. We've got.
Oh, here the Clay Matthews. If we can get that little thing on his
on the belt.
On the belt, that's a nice story.
The other thing I'd like to do, perhaps here, is to get Leo Murphy. Give us a little fun there.
Well, look at him sweat.
Yeah, that's a good
shot.
Boy,
Watch that.
That's the big man. That's how they pay the price for it, I'll tell you.
Well, that's
okay. Good.
some of the big stallions on the sidelines for the Browns showing the price in this heat and humidity. The fan blowing to try to cool them off. The trainers working desperately on both sidelines to keep their men fresh. After the punt, the Cowboys ball, and it's Newsome spinning off for a gain of 3 or 4. Timmy Newsome. 10:48 left. There's number 57, Clay Matthews. You see, well, it's pretty tough with his back to us, but he has a little towel. Actually, it's not a towel on the front of his uniform. It is part of the jersey. There you see it, of his brother Bruce Matthews, a #1 draft pick from the Houston Oilers. He said, I'm going to send this to you for good luck. You're always getting hurt, brother, and I want to keep you healthy. Now the brother, Mac Matthews, alive here in Texas. Danny White, and a good catch by Cosbie. A lick from Rogers, but Cosbie hangs on for 13 more.
An excellent job of faking, and that's kind of a, well, not a lost art, but something you don't see as often in the NFL anymore. Little fake the door set. White just a little half roll, finds Cosbie all by himself. Delivers the ball. Cosbie heading for the sideline. May have been bounced a little bit on that play.
85, Fred Cornwell. They call him a Cosbie clone. He's a second-year man from Southern California and at a tight end. First down at the 48-yard line of the Browns. Dorsett drilled back at the 49-yard line as the veteran Carl Hairston played much of his career with the Philadelphia Eagles, slamming through to make the tackle in the Dallas backfield. Flag down.
It's a very physical defensive team, Dick, and they're very basic in the way they approach the game. But one thing they do know is how to handle their responsibilities on the field. They always know what they're doing out there. You can see that from this vantage point.
Number 85, holding, 10 yards, first down.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised they took the penalty, Merlin. They had 4 yards on the loss, would have brought up 2nd and 14. Instead, they go 1st and 20.
Well, it's a 10-yard loss, Dick. It takes them back quite a ways, forces a different kind of strategy altogether, but of course does give them the chance to repeat the down. Fred Cornwell, who had come in for Cosbie, instantly gets his name announced over the PA system. However, I'm not sure that's the way he wanted it to be.
Well, he's replaced, I believe, now.
No, he's still in there.
All right, 1st and 20. Hill to the left, Renfro wide right. That's Newsome in motion. Down the middle and complete to Tony Hill at the 40. Well, they got 18 of it back in a hurry.
You can't give Danny White that time to throw. You can't give him that much time to sit back there and examine your defense. He's going to pick some holes for you. Good job of pass protecting by that Cowboys line. Rafferty up front along with Titan Sir, Kurt Peterson. Of course, the 2 tackles in there, Jim Cooper and Vic Posderick on the other side. That's a big, strong offensive line. Of course, their injuries last year, one of the reasons that this Dallas Cowboy team slipped offensively.
3 seconds left on the clock. 2 seconds, 1 second. He didn't get it off in time. Now there was a little confusion getting the play in from the sidelines and delay of game against Dallas. A -5. It'll take them out of 2nd and 2. Tom Landry, 26 incredible years in the league as a head coach, now a young 61. We asked him yesterday, I said, Coach, I have a feeling 10 years from now we'll be looking at you and we'll be talking about you passing George Halas. He had a retort for that we'll share with you sometime in this quarter. He said he's not going to be here 10 years from now, but many thought he's going to retire 4 or 5 years ago.
He said he's not making any plans for retirement either. He was being very closed-mouthed about that yesterday.
Going for it all to Tony Hill, and Hanford Dixon is called for interference. It was a thin call, but goes against the Browns as Dixon, beaten on the play, may indeed have manhandled Hill. Let's see it.
One of the things the Cowboys do not have right now in their arsenal is blinding speed at those outside receiving positions.
Number 29, first down.
Now, according to the rule changes this year, Dick, if Hanford Dixon is looking back at the quarterback, makes contact with the receiver, they won't call it on it. But when he is looking at the receiver and makes contact with the receiver, as he was there in the man-to-man, they will call it.
He did not play the ball, and you saw him run off Hill. First down at the 12. The Cowboys trying to add to their 10-0 lead. Middle third quarter. Dorsett trying to skip out of that pile and drawing a sea of brown jerseys led by Bob Golick, number 79, the nose guard. A -2 yards for Dorsett.
Nick, let's follow up on that wide receiver comment. One of the weaknesses that you can see on this roster for the Dallas Cowboys is their depth at wide receiver. After Hill and Mike Renfro, and those are the two veterans, you go down to some medium draft picks, and they're both rookies. I'm sure that with a history of injuries at wide receiver, that really concerns Tom Landry.
And now Doug Cosbie is top tight end on the sidelines, dazed apparently when he made that last catch. 2nd and 12. Hill out of the end zone, working on Dixon, and they're going best against best. Hill, one of the top receivers against Dixon, regarded as the best defensive back for the Browns. Baseball today, 2-0 Pirates leading the Mets. Montreal 1-0 over the Cardinals in the second. Milwaukee leading 1-0 in Toronto. Yankees lead at Baltimore 3-0, and Minnesota, Kansas City, Cleveland, California later this afternoon.
Dorsett leaving the field.
Cosbie is back in. 3rd and 12.
James Jones in Dorsett's place.
Fumble, and the Browns recover at the 20-yard line. The ball has not been whistled dead, apparently. Here's Clay Matthews finally down at the 45. I thought the ball should have been whistled dead when White had the ball taken away. There was contact.
If the man who has the football is not touched by one of the defensive players, and of course the minute that ball is touched by the defense, they have every right to it, then the ball is not blown dead.
I thought White was still in contact, but apparently not, because the Browns have it out at the 45-yard line.
Give you a look at it at home. White back in the shotgun. It looked like James Jones coming from the left side kind of got in his line of sight there, and I believe you're right, Dick. It looked like there was some contact. Once they started out with that football, then of course the ball did not get blown dead until Clay Matthews ended up tripping down the way on his own.
So the Browns get about 25 extra yards out of the return of the fumble. It was not blown dead.
And there is the turnover. That's what Tom Landry talked about last week. He said we killed ourselves last week. We don't want to do that this week.
Cleveland trailing 10-0. Still very much in the game. 6:49 left. The throw to Adams, and he is belted out of bounds at the 44, and I believe a flag goes down with it.
An excellent pickup by Earnest Byner of the blitz up the middle to give Danielson time to throw that football.
First down at the 44 of the Cowboys.
I think the hassle on the sideline, there was a question of whether he'd held that ball when he got out of bounds, because the ball did go loose, but they said he had it when he went out of bounds with it.
Wide open on this side is Willis Adams, and Adams lurching forward to the Dallas 22-yard line. See Ozzie Newsome that time. Here's one of the great receivers in the game. Newsome in motion stayed in to block to help give Danielson more time.
They've had real trouble getting time for Danielson to throw the football. Newsome just going across your picture, just dropped back in there to take some of the heat away. Here he is at the top of your screen, number 82, doing a good job of trying to hold down Jim Jeffcoat, number 77. But Everson Walls giving Willis Adams all kinds of room on that play.
So following that fumble recovery, the Browns threaten, trailing 10-0, 6.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Danielson looking again for Adams. Intercepted by Dennis Thurman. Dennis Thurman. Oh, Danielson intercepted twice, both right at the goal line or in the end zone.
Very frustrated Gary Danielson to the sideline. Marty Schottenheimer said, that's all right, we still got time. But that ball thrown in an area where it looked like Willis Adams might have had a chance at it, but he lost his footing. He lost his footing. Dennis Thurman just stepped in front of him, carried it out of bounds. We mentioned that they'll go after Thurman in that kind of situation, and after apparently abandoning their running attack, some explosive aerial work by Danielson and the Browns, but they end up turning the ball over, and the Cowboys have another shot at it.
It appeared to be Ron Fellows out of uniform. You saw shaking hands with Thurman. Thurman moving from safety to cornerback, and admits that that really isn't his best spot, but somebody's got to play out there with Fellows' knee injury.
He's always in the right position. His nickname is Coach. They keep him in there because he has that experience. There's Marty Schottenheimer. What a fine man he is. I'll tell you, I think he's going to do a successful and very positive job of rebuilding this Cleveland franchise. He's already rebuilt the defense. You see him encouraging, a very emotional coach, a very positive man, though. He wasn't yelling at his players after that mistake. He was saying, all right, let's go. We still got time. Didn't want to get him down. Always on the positive note.
Dennis Thurman, meanwhile, celebrating, enjoying a 33rd career interception. Quite a scoring fest in Cincinnati. Anderson and Fouts tied at 20, third quarter. Thurman, who came early to camp, summer camp out at Thousand Oaks with the rookies so that he could help the young defensive backs. And he said at the same time made sure that, hey, I want to get another year in this league too. And I was in as good a shape as I've been in quite some time. For Dallas. And the Cleveland Browns drive deep and both come away empty. The Browns intercepted, and White fumbling that attempted handoff to Jones. Dorsett cutting back, but right into the grasp of Eddie Johnson and Bob Golick. A gain of a yard. Cosbie is back in now for Dallas. Another score tied. Broncos and the Falcons 21-all in the third quarter.
Dick, they say good things come in threes for Eddie Johnson. He's hoping that he can have a couple of big plays back to back on that one. Johnson, however, was involved in an interesting thing in camp on Thursday. Marty Schottenheimer said we had 3 players go down with ankle injuries. Johnson, one of them. They were concerned about whether he would play today. Luckily, all 3 are back on the roster today and playing.
Screen to Dorsett, and he's got blockers. Out to the 38-yard line before Reggie Camp, 96, can down him. Rogers tripped him up. Glenn Titensor, number 63, with a good block in front of Dorsett.
A play designed to let the defensive linemen think they have penetrated on the quarterback. You saw the good play acting there. Number 51, Eddie Johnson, with a shot at Dorsett, but Dorsett just too quick. They finally got to him with good pursuit from Reggie Camp, number 96, all the way from the left end position.
17 yards on that catch. Dorsett. Clay Matthews chasing the play, slowed him up, and Cousineau finished him off along with Don Rogers, but not until Dorsett had 9 more yards. Well, they did, the offensive linemen. There are a lot of things that are changing, but some things stay the same here in Dallas. Those linemen traditionally set, and then they all raise up, set again. What does that accomplish?
Well, I think initially it was designed to try and shield the defense from the shifts that were taking place behind the line. It has, however, become kind of a trademark for this Tom Landry team, and it doesn't serve that much of a useful purpose now, but it's kind of their way of saying, hey, we're still the Cowboys. I'll tell you an interesting story about that little up-down move, though, Dick, in a minute here.
Robert Levesque gives Dorsett a breather. 2nd down and 1. There's that little shift. And Newsome has the first down that would appear close to the 50-yard line. Clay Matthews with a tackle.
Well, we've played the Cowboys so often in the early days of my career, and that little up and down thing always irritated me. So we were playing a preseason game against the Cowboys. We lined up on the Cowboys, and when they went up like that, we all just teed off and knocked them about 8 yards back, and we took the 5-yard penalty. They were a little upset, however.
In his own way, a genius, Tom Landry. New York Giant back, World War II bomber pilot. First down at the 49 for Dallas, leading 10-0. And the quick out to Cosbie, dropped at the Cleveland 46-yard line by Al Gross. George Halas, the all-time NFL winning coach with 325, and then Landry and Shula in quite a race for the number 2 spot. Landry 2 today, 1 win more than Shula, and we yesterday asked him about that. He said leave the next 10 years to Shula. He's younger. Let him chase Halas.
Said that with a smile, though. It's interesting to speculate on how long Tom Landry will coach here, but I would think as long as it's enjoyable for him, he'll probably still be here. He certainly is a very young man for his age.
White calls time, 2nd and 5, and he'll go to the sidelines and share his thoughts with the 61-year-old head man Landry. 3:27 left, 3rd quarter.
Can you get let's get that Leo. Let's find Leo Murphy. Can you find him, Larry? Because there's a nice tag for Landry. There's a nice tag for the Landry thing.
I don't see him out there, do you?
He's right there in a white hat, I think. Yeah.
Leo.
Yeah. Okay.
He is not the head trainer?
No, he's not. Let's talk about it. And you know, the interesting thing is that when I'll tell it to you on the air. It's more fun. They're really going to earn their money today, those guys.
Boy. Well, guarding the well along the sidelines, Cleveland side of the field, Leo Murphy.
36 years. That's more years than any of these players have been alive. An interesting tie-in. We'll give you that in just a second.
2nd and 5 for the Cowboys after they called the timeout. 3:27 remaining. 3rd quarter, 10-0 Dallas. White down the middle. Oh my, what a hit by Renfro. Fumbles, picks it up, and is down at the 25-yard line. Goodness, what a reaction by Renfro. Hammered by Gross and Minifield, and still had the presence after he dropped the ball, pick it up and gain another 5.
This is a professional receiver, and I use the word with a great compliment. Mike Renfro does not have great speed. Well, look at that concentration. Takes the hit. The ball bounces loose, had possession. He gets right back up, kicks the ball, and runs away. The only question there was, did they give him what they picked up on that run? And I believe they did, didn't they?
Another 5 yards to the 25. That was Renfro's first catch. Punishing, but productive. Dorsett back in the lineup. Good play by Minifield, who held his ground on the corner, turned him in. A 5-yard gain. Let's go to Bob Costas.
Number 31, Frank Minifield on the tackle at the 21-yard line. Will be 2nd down and 6.
All right, Bob, those San Diego Chargers, they may have trouble stopping the other side, but boy, if you like offensive fireworks and Fouts is healthy, they're a lot of fun to watch. 2nd and 5 as we close down the final 2 minutes, 3rd quarter here in Texas. And through the hands of Tony Hill. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network. With Merlin Olsen, Dick Enberg, score 10-0 Cleveland, late third quarter.
Dick, just to finish that thought, we were talking about assistant trainer Leo Murphy. He spent 2 years in the old All-American Conference. One of those years with the New York Yankees. And one of the young players on that team, who would you think?
Tom Landry.
Tom Landry. That's 39 years ago.
Third down, a short 6. Pressure on White. Gets it away to Newsome, and a first down inside the 15. Clay Matthews made the tackle, just enough for the first down.
Timmy Newsome, the man you want to watch. Keep your eyes on him as he's just going to go down across and get all the way to the outside. Clay Matthews coming from that linebacking position, responsible for him, but it's Newsome who's going to find the open turf there and get to the outside right there. Good stretching catch by Tony Newsome.
Cowboys on the drive. This is Levette, the rookie from Georgia Tech. He was the all-time rusher in Tech history, over 4,000 yards, had 46 touchdowns, and was the 4th-round draft pick this year of Dallas. Golick and Cousineau with a tackle. Understand that Denver has taken the lead at Atlanta 24-21, and New England has built its lead against Buffalo to 17-7. Irving Fryer, an 85-yard punt return for a touchdown for the Patriots. Final seconds, third quarter. Dallas leading 10-0. And the pressure from Clay Matthews and Bob Golick. And as White threw, he was going down, and the pass landing at the feet of Cosbie incomplete.
One of the things that Tom Landry had indicated as a priority was controlling the blitzing of Banks and Matthews, and they have done that very effectively. One thing we're going to have to watch with Matthews, he had horrible back spasms for 10 days as a result of a blow in the back, was not able to practice during that time. His conditioning might get to be a problem on this very hot afternoon here in Dallas.
It's a big play for both teams. A field goal would keep the Browns within 2 touchdowns. A touchdown for the Cowboys would make it pretty tough on Cleveland going into the fourth quarter. It is James Jones.
A pass.
And it's Danny White all alone. Few eyebrows. Touchdown reception. Danny White from James Jones, 12 yards. Septien to try the point after. And with 10 seconds left in the third quarter, the Cowboys move up 17-0. A flag is down on the extra point.
They're going to bring him back, I think, and make him kick it again, Dick. They're waving to him to get him back on the field. What an interesting play.
Offense, illegal formation, not lining up in the ball. Have a re-kick. 5-yard penalty.
Let's go back and take a quick look at that play. Dorsett is going to take the ball and swing out. He gets depth. You know he's going to throw the football. But watch Danny White now. Just sneaking out from his position all by himself. Well, they covered all the receivers, but they forgot about the quarterback. And watch Dorsett.
This is Jones.
Oh, excuse me, Jones. James Jones, 23. Sets it up now. Flicks it back over the top. And boy, you know, when they changed the rule to make that quarterback eligible, everybody put it in. Few teams run it. Well, the Cowboys have just capitalized on that play.
5-yard penalty. Septien tries the extra point again, and this one is even truer than the last, but another flag is down. Fred Silva now called over by the official. Dropped the flag. James Jones saying, hey, listen, Sammy Bahr who? Roger Staubach? Huh. How'd you like that one?
Well, it looks like that penalty will go against the Browns, and the kick
Successful
will
foul,
stand.
72 defense holding. 5 yards assessed on the kickoff.
Well, using the halfback to the quarterback toss, the Cowboys lead 17-0.
Good.
Right.
Good, Larry. Okay, that's Curtis Weathers. Okay, go ahead and play that. Yeah.
Started with the interception in the end zone. Good. Yeah, I think this is on the quarterback. If he's under center, he can't. He's not eligible. But in that situation where he's back there and you hit him.
Okay. That's the rule.
You're going to replay that again. Let me take the replay because I'll add that I got a little note on that.
Okay. It's Curtis Weathers that's chasing him. Trying to catch up. 55 over there. Was it Banks? It looked like Weathers. Maybe not.
What?
20.
Right. Yep. Just 10 seconds remaining in the third quarter, and a very important touchdown for the Cowboys after Thurman's interception in the end zone denying the Browns. The Cowboys go 80 yards in 12 plays, and Danny White with a touchdown reception. Septien hits this one right out of the end zone. Let's go back to the touchdown from a different angle. You watch White. He'll hand it off to James Jones, and then White. This is a repeat of a play that worked a couple of years ago. Then it was Ron Springs throwing the ball. White at the other end. This is his second career touchdown by reception. The tackle made by Chip Banks, but too late as White was too much left alone. And the Cowboys of the trick play have the touchdown.
I wonder how they'll show it on his quarterbacking stats. I have to add a little asterisk to his numbers for the day.
White, one of the brightest of the Cowboys, an academic star at Arizona State, as well as a great athlete. You know, he was a terrific baseball player as well. That's Harry Holt being helped off for the Browns.
One thing that you have to know is that after a very frustrating week last week, it's got to feel good for Danny White to be able to come back and have that kind of performance today. You see that smile? No smiles last week.
Now at Arizona State, he was on the baseball squad there with the Sun Devils. Bump Wills and Craig Swan, some pretty good baseball teams. Many felt his future might be Major League Baseball. Not a bad catcher there. Caught that little pop fly. Final play of the third quarter. Oh, almost intercepted, and Everson Walls read that play beautifully. He was in better position than the intended receiver, Willis Adams, and Walls, had he caught it, had an easy score.
The Cowboys now have forced the Browns into a position where they really can't rely on their running game. They can't do what they wanted to do in this game. They've got to throw the football. That really makes them vulnerable. These Cowboys can come at you so many ways. A very technical, very complex defense. They love to blitz. They want to put the pressure on you, and you see them coming up on that play. You'll see them, I think, blitzing on a very constant basis now as the Browns have to throw the football.
1 second left in the quarter. Kevin Mack trucking his way to the 26-yard line, and that is the end of the third quarter. The score, Cowboys 17, the Browns nothing. We'll be back after these messages from your local station. Too tall is really like that last play. He had to throw around too tall. That's what made it. He had to sidearm it.
You know, the other thing I'd like is Eugene Lockhart. We haven't talked about him. He's so important in this. Let's
whatever one you want. I don't care.
Let me do Lockhart first, and then we'll do too tall. We got. Okay. All right. If you give me something, maybe we can use it in the telestrator to show his reactions on the.
The nice thing about too tall is it sets up our.
Are we going to do the shoes? Okay. All right. Let's stand up for it. It'll be easier. Back. Okay. Back. Get back. Okay. All right.
Don't show it yet. Don't show it right off the bat. Yeah. And now, as a special feature, and there's no extra charge, you've heard about pulling a rabbit out of a hat. Here's Merlin.
Watch this, is, of course, an artificial shoe, turf shoe, and inside, who do these belong to? Now look at the size of those.
Let me just hold that up here. This one belongs to, well, we'll get back to Ed Jones was the big one. Danielson, number 99, the rookie Kevin Brooks from Michigan, the #1 draft pick of the Cowboys, has the sack.
Well, he's got some big shoes to fill if he wants to step in behind Ed Too Tall Jones, because that was Ed's size 16 we were looking at there.
And the little one was Rafael Septien's.
Rafael Septien. There's also a big pair of shoes on the other side. The Browns have a size 16, and Mark Karowitz as well. Backup offensive lineman.
The ever-annoying wave has struck Texas Stadium, and Gossett delivers his best punt of the afternoon. Fair catch by Gonzalez, the rookie, at the 36-yard line. 46-yard punt, no return, and a timeout early in the fourth quarter. Dallas by 17. Boy, a lot of timeouts here. Well, let's go back and show Jones's feet at least, you know, just to finish that up. We kind of hurried through all that. Yeah, start with his feet.
Larry, let's go out of that to basketball shoes on the other side. That's an interesting note that the Cleveland players a lot of them are wearing basketball shoes.
Right. Can I see all the scores, the master sheet of the scores? Yeah, how's Wake Forest doing against Duke?
No, that's an artificial turf shoe. You'll see them. They're just a regular basketball shoe. About half of them. You can't.
Today's game is brought to you by Renault. European technology built in America. Make Renault the one to watch. By Radio Shack, the computer experts. And by Sears, where you'll find great values. There's more for your life at Sears.
Well, there are the feet of Ed Too Tall Jones in his comfy size 16s. Used those to do some dance work as a professional boxer, you'll recall. There's Tony Dorsett. Light footing his way for about 7.
Talking about feet, a number of the Cleveland Brown players are not wearing football shoes. About half of them are wearing high-top basketball shoes. It's very interesting to me, but that was an experiment that Sam Rutigliano had them go through last year, and apparently so many of the players like them that on the artificial turf, rather than wear a football shoe, they've gone to a high-top basketball shoe. Chris Schultz, number 66, is in at guard, Dick. They've made some changes trying to get some fresh linemen in for the Cowboys.
Schultz from Arizona. Newsome straight ahead will be just shy of the first down. It would appear to be about 3rd and less than a yard. How big was your football shoe, or how big are your feet, I should say?
Size 15. I can't. I could wander around in those 16s. You know, just to finish up our shoe story. I don't know if it's that crucial, but Matt Bahr, the Cleveland kicker, actually wears a size 7 football shoe, but his street shoes are 9.5. Now you figure that one out. Now there's Matt Bahr. Now those are size 7s. He actually wears a size 9.5 street shoe, but he wants those shoes tight. I got to believe they are.
3rd and 1. Newsome. Going to be close for the first down. It'll depend on the spot. Don Rogers up from a safety spot to make the tackle. Dorsett given a breather with a 17-0 lead. And you see the back bothering him today, and Robert Levette has replaced him, and we'll have a measurement here apparently. Either 4th and inches or another first down for Dallas.
You can sense the impact the heat is having on the field. A lot of these players beginning to drag a little bit. This is certainly not a good time for either team. This is the kind of time you get some injuries very often, Dick, when players begin to get tired.
First down for the Cowboys with 12:49 remaining, and Dallas in front 17-0. The Browns have had 2 serious chances to score, and both times intercepted either in the end zone or at the goal line. Pittsburgh leading 20-0. The Giants and Cardinals tied at 10 in the 3rd. 27-21 Denver by 6 in the 3rd. And we'll give you the other scores later. Danny White, and that one out of bounds. Tony Hill knew that he could not be an eligible passer. He had gone out of bounds, could not come back in and catch the ball.
Back earlier in the day, we believe that this may have been the play where Dorsett hurt his back. Watch him here as he's taken down by Matthews. Takes a shot right there on the ribs. That's 20 Don Rogers who hit him there. Apparently that was the play that either bruised or twisted Tony's back slightly. He is not expected to come back into this game, but the Cowboys with a comfortable lead are still leaning on the running game to wear down that clock right at this moment.
Giants back in front by 3 against the Cardinals. Danny White on a screen. Timmy Newsome. And Cousineau did a good job of sifting through the blockers to make the tackle at the 47 of Cleveland. Other action in the NFL today. Battle of field goals, and the Eagles have one more than the Redskins in the 3rd. San Diego a 27-20 lead against the Bengals. 17-7 New England, sparked by Fryer's 85-yard punt return for a touchdown, and New Orleans leads Tampa Bay 20-6 in the 3rd quarter. And to wrap things up, Indianapolis hanging on to a 7-3 lead in their home opener against the Lions.
Well, and Detroit on a roller coaster after that big win against the Cowboys on the short side of a score against the team they thought they were going to beat.
3rd down and a long 3. Open is Cornwell, and a first down. Rockins knocks him out of bounds at the 42, but it's a first down Dallas. Cornwell, his first catch of 1985.
Coming from that little flanker position, little wing position, just a little bump on Chris Rockins, 37. Takes it out of bounds, loses the ball right here, and the ball ends up out of bounds. Now if that ball had stayed in bounds, Browns would have had a chance to pick it up, take possession of it.
41-yard line. The Cowboys trying to add to their 17-0 advantage. 12 minutes left, 4th quarter. Levette, the solo running back. Danny White, and complete. Number 81, Carl Poe, his first NFL reception. 7th round draft pick from Alabama State. That's a big moment for him, although only a 2-yard gain.
Well, they talk about Poe and they say he reminds them of John Stallworth. Now, I think if I were a Cowboy coach, I would hope that he would remind me an awful lot of John Stallworth. Stallworth, one of the great receivers in the NFL. Poe just learning. He's got great speed, apparently an excellent athlete, and they have real promise. They really feel he has promise in the NFL.
He's 6'2" and 175. 2nd and 8. White to the 30 and out of bounds at the 20. First down. It's a big day for Danny White. Run for 20. He has caught a pass for a touchdown, 12 yards, and he's been superbly accurate with a pass.
Art Tonell. You can almost tell what the score is by the mood in the visiting owner's booth as he looks down at what is not a pleasant sight for him or for Browns fans watching at home.
Browns will go out to San Diego next week. Dallas down to Houston for the intra-state rivalry with the Oilers. White going too deep to Levesque, who had a step on his man on that deep swing. He was a secondary target. They were trying to go to Renfro on this side, but Renfro had been picked off, and Levesque continuing his pattern deep. 11:14 left. 61,000 fans in attendance here at Texas Stadium. This game was not a sellout before the deadline midweek, so the game was not televised in the Dallas area, but certainly throughout the Southwest and the Middle West. Renfro right, Hill left, 2nd and 10. Whoops, Cornwell. That'll cost Dallas 5 yards.
Dick, while we have a second, it was interesting to me to hear Tom Landry talk about the differences between this team and his teams of the 70s.
Number 85, ball start.
And basically what he said was, we were so strong in the 70s that we could win on our bad days. We can't do that now. We have to play well to win. And the other thing that was interesting to me, he talked about depth. He said when we had injuries in the 70s, we just put somebody else in. It didn't matter. We won anyway. Today, we don't have that kind of depth. And a question I would ask, if maybe the apprentice system that they have used for so long doesn't weaken them when they don't get a chance to put those youngsters quickly into the lineup.
2nd and 15 for White. And he drills it into his tight end Cornwell at the 15-yard line. Well, he brought up another point too, Merlin, and that is the penalty that has dealt the successful teams in the NFL through the draft. If you get a #1 draft pick, it's because you didn't do well, and Dallas has not been able to pluck off the real gems from the collegiate market. In fact, he named the 3 stars that they have now: Too Tall Jones, Randy White, Tony Dorsett. All 3 came when they had to trade draft choices to get that early pick.
There's no question about that. They wanted to trade up this year. They wanted to trade up for a receiver, but they couldn't do it. They wanted an Al Toon or one of the other top receivers, couldn't get them.
Eddie Brown.
Eddie Brown is another one they really like, yes.
3rd down, 6 to Tony Hill. And a good job done by Minifield. In fact, it was Hill who was doing the pushing in that little exchange.
Talking about the wide receivers, Tony Hill, veteran of so many campaigns. You see him using his shoulder a little bit there, and of course both of those men now have a right to that football. Hill has to be careful in that situation that he is not called for offensive interference.
Rafael Septien in to try a field goal. Cincinnati has moved back in front of the Chargers. That is really seesaw. They're still in the 3rd quarter. 61 points scored already. Septien, this will be a 33-yard attempt out of Hogaboom's hole. And he's got it. Septien is 2 for 3 this afternoon, and with 10:13 left, the Cowboys have 3 more.
Well, it's fair. Well, he's, I'm sure, discouraged. They had such a big win last week. Oh, yeah.
Or the one that started this half, too.
Yeah. Let's, yeah, that's, okay.
Okay. Yeah,
right,
that's
let's
good.
do
That
that.
would be a good shot.
Good. Good. Good.
Okay. You're going to have. I don't need that.
Yeah. Good. Yep.
Part of our doubleheader on NBC next week. That'll be the early game. Merlin and I will be out in Denver. The Broncos host the Miami Dolphins in the second half of the doubleheader. Septien down to Glenn Young. Ooh, Young hit hard by Victor Scott at the 25 and falls at the 26-yard line. And when you hear that kind of sound, you know Bill Bates is there as well. On the sidelines for the Cleveland Browns, you saw him on NFL 85. Former great Charger and Green Bay receiver John Jefferson.
They're hoping that he can work with this young crop of receivers. They have some talent. They don't have the kind of cohesiveness yet. They're hoping he'll be a leader. John Jefferson. There was talk here in Dallas that he might be traded to Dallas during the offseason. Of course, he goes to the Browns.
We welcome those of you watching the Buffalo New England game here to Irving, Texas, where the Cowboys lead 20-0, and that's Ozzie Newsome not tall enough to get that toss from Danielson, who is being pressured once again, as he has throughout the afternoon. Too tall Jones has been on him, and this time the pressure came from John Dutton.
Big John Dutton, who's playing at the lightest weight of his career, came in at 258 pounds for his 11th season. Said he feels good. Got a little gray in that hair, though. Never a quick defensive lineman in a sense of having good foot speed, but very strong, very durable, good technique inside. Has been a valuable balancing, a counterpoint, if you will, for the very quick and explosive tackle, Randy White.
Not good news for the Browns. That's Cody Rison, the starting right tackle, limping off the field. We understand as soon as the technical difficulties are corrected, those of you that have been watching the Bills and the Patriots will switch you back to your game. In the meantime, we welcome you aboard here in Irving, Texas. A hot, humid day, 61,456, and the Cowboy fans have been treated. It's 20-0 Dallas. They led 10-0 at the half. The Browns have had 2 serious drives, but both ended interceptions on the goal line or in the Dallas end zone. Earnest Byner, and a fumble. The flag is down, and the Cowboys' Everson Walls comes up with a football. Let's see if the whistle was dead. Blown it dead. Walls thinks he has Dallas in possession.
The tempers exploding down there. Earnest Byner getting a few words in somewhere.
Eugene, the hitting machine Lockhart, number 56 for Dallas.
Lockhart should be in a good mood. He just signed a new contract, a new 3-year contract.
Yeah, let's see what happens. Still no official word as to how they're going to call this.
Get a chance to watch the play develop. Byner, the man carrying the football. Let's see if he gets that ball. He has a tendency to carry that ball in the wrong arm. Now, is he down, or was that ball stripped away? It appeared that it was legitimately stripped.
First down.
They call it a fumble. So the Cowboys get a break there as Byner going down. Was he or was he not down? The officials ruled that the ball stripped away, and the Cowboys with a 20-0 lead here in the fourth quarter and 9:51 left have the turnover at the Cleveland 30-yard line. Danny White, who has had an outstanding afternoon throwing the football, has caught a pass 12 yards for a touchdown from halfback James Jones. And he has also reeled off a 20-yard run on a scramble. Newsome and Levette, the running backs. This is Newsome fighting for 3, and a flag is down. We go back and look at the fumble play involving Earnest Byner.
Of course, the one thing that this young offensive team does not need is turnovers. They've had 3 today. The 2 interceptions and now the fumble by Byner. He's had several during the preseason and the regular season. You see the ball there, though, legitimately stripped away. Really a fine shot. Kevin Brooks was one of the men in on that tackle. Rookie defensive end. Byner, I think, got up frustrated and angry.
Offense number 85. Holding. 10 yards. First down.
2 weeks to go in the 1985 American and National League pennant races. The Mets trailing at home to Pittsburgh 2-1. Montreal at St. Louis tied at 2-all. Milwaukee and Toronto tied in the 6th. The Yankees leading Baltimore 3-0, and Kansas City an early lead against Minnesota. Cleveland and California at Anaheim later. First down and 20. White misfiring as Tim Newsome, the intended receiver. But for White, his day has nevertheless been a good one. He is 20 for 31, 177 yards. Giants opening up a 10-point lead against the Cardinals. And San Diego, well, you knew that was going to seesaw. They get the 7 right back. It's 34 all in a great game at Cincinnati. New England's lead cut to 3 by Buffalo in the fourth quarter. Chip Banks heavily wrapped. Second and 20. Levette. Short yardage to the 38-yard line. Scott Nicholas made the tackle. Levette is in there. Not only to give Tony Dorsett a rest, but Dorsett with a back problem will not play the rest of this afternoon.
And we're seeing a lot of different players. One of the players in there, 55, Curtis Weathers. Curtis had a big week last week. Got a chance to start because of an injury. See Dorsett on the sideline, one of the injured today, but he also got back-to-back big plays, big sack and an interception, and then found out later in the week that his wife was pregnant with their first child. So it was a good week.
Indeed.
Today, not quite so good for Curtis and the Browns.
Third and long for White, and it's intercepted. This is Don Rogers. No, Hanford Dixon at the 40 runs into his own man and out of bounds at the 43-yard line. And we've got a wrestling match going downfield between James Jones and one of the Browns. There's Jones, 23, who threw that touchdown pass earlier to his quarterback Danny White. And it appears to be Clay Matthews, 57. And Jones with a takedown of the heavier man.
Dennis Thurman over to whisper something, and I don't think they're whispering sweet things in each other's ears down there.
Dixon with his first interception of the year as he picked off the deflected pass and returned it 20 yards.
I don't understand that, Dick. We didn't get any flags on the ground on that. When was the last time you saw a legitimate takedown and that much wrestling with nothing going down on the ground?
I guess all they would do is just announce that it was a penalty against both sides and go on with the play anyway. 43-yard line, Cleveland with 8.5 minutes remaining, fourth quarter, trailing 20-0. Byner into Dallas territory at the 48, 9 yards for Earnest Byner. On the sidelines, Bernie Kosar, the young man from Miami of Florida who, after, well, 2 years of football with the Hurricanes, has actually forsaken his final 2 seasons, signed the big contract, a very clever supplemental draft situation as the Browns traded for the rights with the Buffalo Bills and got the homegrown Kosar.
And it's on days like this that a lot of people are saying, why don't you put the youngster in? Give him a chance.
2nd and 1. Danielson gives it to Mack. Mack at the 30. He's at the 20. Kevin Mack at the 10. He's all the way to the 7-yard line. Fumbles, and it's recovered by the Browns at the 2-yard line. Nearly a touchdown as Willis Adams was alertly there to fall on the loose football, and they ruled it a fumble.
Browns almost topping the ball up. Daniels in a planned roll right at the end, drop back and then gets the ball outside. Missed tackle by Eugene Lockhart, 56. Good block. Ozzie Newsome, 84 down there giving him a block too. That's Glenn Young, but there's the fumble, and look how alertly Willis Adams, 80, pounces on that ball. Even picked up a few yards in the process.
41-yard play plus the fumble. It's 1st and goal just outside the 1-yard line. Outside, Kevin Mack, and he can't get in. Good job defensively by the Cowboys. 5, 6 men right there to stack up the play. Cowboys tough against the run when you get down into this territory, or any time for that matter. 6.5 minutes left in the 4th quarter.
That's very true, Dick. But they've had to modify their defenses, which were built for running teams and the running game, to meet the challenge of the passing of the 80s. Let's see whether these Cleveland Browns elect to run that football in, or whether they may indeed try to fool the Cowboys with a pass.
They got B1, Johnny Davis, number 38, in there to block with Byner. Byner diving at the goal line. He's not in. Stopped again cold, and you could hear the pads whacking. Jeff Rohr, the highest Yale draft since Calvin Hill was the #1 pick of the Cowboys in 1969. 3rd and goal, and all this time the clock is ticking away in Dallas's favor. It's down to 5:47, 5:46. 3rd time the Browns have been this deep in Dallas territory. The other 2 ended on interceptions, and Gary Danielson has called timeout.
You can't blame him for wanting to get it right. They've been frustrated trying to get into that end zone. 2 different times they've had the ball down in scoring range. Once they ended with an interception on the 2-yard line, another time an interception in the end zone. Danielson over to the sideline to talk to Joe Pendray, the offensive coordinator, Marty Schottenheimer. They want to get it done.
Now at this stage of the game, it's tough to discern whether these players are injured or it's just the effects of exhaustion and heat.
I think some of both, Dick. You'll see players go down with cramps today, with muscle spasms, as well as with injuries, and sometimes it's the weakening of the muscles themselves that brings on perhaps a muscle pull or a muscle tear on a day like today.
Number 26, Greg Allen, the #2 draft pick from Florida State, started in and now comes back out.
And I think they were worried about Byner. Byner was on the ground, but they've checked him out. He says he's okay. And I'll tell you, these trainers earn more than their money on a day like today. Giving water to all those players, making sure they're getting enough fluids into their system.
There's the first final of the day. The Steelers shut out the Oilers 20-0, and that's the same score here in Dallas, with the Cowboys in front, 20-0, and the Browns' best chance just inches away from the goal line on 3rd and goal. Okay, defensive lineman, what do you call on this play if you're the quarterback?
I got to believe you really try and get outside, but it's a guessing game now, Dick. They tried the first one up inside. They tried the second one off tackle. You're inside that 1-yard line. You got a half yard to go. You just got to count on your people up front, your young bulls, to give you enough room. I wouldn't hesitate, I don't think, to go right in behind Mike Babb, that big center, who's the strongest man on that offensive line.
Ozzie Newsome with a word with his quarterback before setting up on this side. It's Byner for the touchdown. Earnest Byner his second touchdown of the year, and it's 20-6.
Byner has shown the ability with that little hesitation to see the open area, looking from behind. Watch him as he starts inside. He sees the opening outside and very quickly squirts to the outside, wide open. You can't blame him for that. Little block on the inside. Ozzie Newsome, 82. You know him as a wide receiver, but he gets a good block there.
Matt Bahr, number 9, to try the extra point. And out of Danielson's hold, he's got it. 5 minutes and 30. Well, there's a flag down. Let's see on whom.
It would appear that the flag will go against the Cowboys.
Successful, number 22. Defense running into the kicker, 5 yards, assessed on the kickoff.
Running into the kicker, not roughing the kicker, a 5-yard penalty against Victor Scott. So Bahr will kick off from the 40-yard line when we return. 5:36 remaining, 27 Dallas.
Yep. Okay, what do we need here now? We're
After
getting
the
down to the that.
Oh, I didn't realize. Okay. And we look at the Cleveland Browns as they make the shift, and the Cowboys all bunched up looking for the onside kick, and they're not disappointed. The ball is free, and the Cowboys come up with it at the 48-yard line. Boy, it was bouncing around like a pinball, but Timmy Newsome was able to fall on it for Dallas, and in fact, very close along the sidelines of breaking that for a touchdown.
Perfect execution of the onside kick by Bahr, however. He got that ball to jump right at the end, and it bounced off the hand of a Dallas player. Now it's a free ball after it touches the Dallas player right here. Now the ball is free. Look at that. There are several Cleveland players had a chance, but Cowboy luck prevails as it comes right back into the hands of Timmy Newsome.
That's a good call because the ball had not proceeded 10 yards, but it was touched by a Cowboy, therefore was a live ball. Had Cowboy not touched it, it had to go past the 50, 10 yards. Remember, there was a 5-yard penalty assessed after the point after. Robert Levette showing a couple of Tony Dorsett moves to the 42-yard line. We understand that both Chip Banks and Cody Rison, 2 key players, 2 starters, 1 on offense, 1 on defense for the Browns, will not return with injuries today. This man hoping he gets a couple of more chances. 5 minutes and 10 seconds left. 20-7 Dallas.
By the way, Danielson very complimentary of the progress that Bernie Kosar has made. He said he's really been throwing the ball very well, and I think he's accepted the role of tutor for that young quarterback.
Levette again, and he's corralled, bulldog down shy of the 40-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down and about 3. Gary Danielson, and this was a good quote. It's not my job forever, meaning the quarterback starting position. I'm just keeping it warm. I won't be embarrassed when Kosar replaces me. You couldn't write a better quote for a veteran quarterback than that one.
Talked to Kosar about his progress, and I asked him, what have you found most difficult? He said initially it was the speed of the professional game. He said things happen so much quicker. He said the other thing that was difficult for me in the passing game was realizing that those cornerbacks could really cover the wide receivers one-on-one. That didn't happen in college, but he's adjusting. They feel he has the flair, the personality, the leadership qualities that will allow him to step in and take over when that time comes. And I think it's a real good coaching move that they haven't thrown into the wolves. They haven't just stuck him in there and said Bernie Kosar is going to lead us out of oblivion. Marty Schottenheimer very careful with that quarterback, and I think realizing that he is the quarterback of the future.
Phil Pozderac down after that last play, but able to get off the field under his own power. The giant left tackle from Notre Dame. Kosar, as a freshman, or say redshirt freshman at Miami, leading the Hurricanes to the NCAA championship. That remarkable win you saw on NBC in the Orange Bowl over Nebraska. There's a big upset brewing, and that is pleasing the fans here in Dallas. Philadelphia beating the Redskins 19-6 in the 4th quarter. 3rd down and 3. Blitz Clemens is on, and White goes down, and the pass just shy of James Jones, and White was drilled. See if he gets up. Yep, he's all right, as both Eddie Johnson and Dave Pazzulli were in on top of him. Baseball scores. The Pirates have opened a 4-run advantage against the Mets. Montreal and St. Louis still tied. Milwaukee leading at Toronto 2-1. The Yankees still holding that 3-0 lead in Baltimore. Minnesota has moved ahead of Kansas City 3-1. The Angels in Cleveland will start shortly. Out of field goal range. So Mike Saxon will try to drop this one inside the 10, where Clarence Weathers, speedy little return artist, awaits for the Browns. They'll let it go, and it kicks into the end zone. The Browns, with 4 minutes and a second remaining, have the ball at the 20-yard line. 41-yard punt, but 21 on the net. So our game of the week next Saturday, it'll be the Mets and Pirates, or Cardinals and Expos, the same lineup that we had yesterday, only in the other team's home park. And of course, we'll be watching very closely all the other races that are of pertinence here as we go down the stretch. And what has been a most exciting baseball year, and of course the baseball playoffs here on NBC. Best 4 of 7 now. And football next Sunday. Raiders, New England, Seattle, Kansas City. The early games, 2 dandies, and then late it'll be the Colts at the Jets, Cleveland at San Diego, and we'll be in Denver. Miami Dolphins and the Broncos. Kevin Mack looking for a hole and finally plowing for a couple. And Bill Bates coming up. I think he's not happy unless he knocks someone down, even if it's his own man.
I'd say he was returning a punt earlier in the year and just came barreling up the field, hit so hard he was knocked unconscious. In fact, the trainers here said it was the worst concussion they'd seen. Didn't slow him down. He's back throwing his body around. He really is a kamikaze player.
Denver back in front of Atlanta 34-28 in the 4th quarter. Well, we've had some big scoring games again today. Danielson getting away from Randy White for a moment and then running into Mike Hagman. That's just like flushing out a pheasant. White running the quarterback into enemy camp, right into the arms of Hagman.
We've got to say that the Cleveland offense has done a pretty good job of controlling number 54, Randy White, today. We haven't heard his name that much. He gets a miss right there. Boy, that's frustrating. You get wide open, you get inside, you got that quarterback in your sights, and then he dodges and you miss him.
Heckman out with the pass coverage unit in. That was the 3rd sack for the Cowboys today. We're down to the 3-minute mark. 20-7 Dallas. 3rd and long. Danielson to Ozzie Newsome, out of bounds, and he's going to be short of the first down, but he'll get the first down. That'll be a helmet penalty. It wasn't a face mask, but in making the tackle, Bates, I believe, caught Newsome right at the nape of the neck underneath the helmet and twisted him out of bounds. It'll cost 5 more.
Yeah, they're giving him a face guarding call on the play. You'll see it on the sideline here.
Face mask, 5 yards, first down.
And I think this is one of the good rules in the game. I don't think that a player has to go after that helmet, has to get up into the face. You see it right there, jerking the face mask, jerking the head down. I'm surprised he didn't get 15 yards on that, Dick.
Yes, he had him with the left hand on the mask and the right hand behind the helmet. He is ready to measure the helmet size. First down for the Browns. Otherwise, they would have had to be in a 4th and 2. Time remaining, 20-7 Cowboys. The throw to Adams is too long. They tried to split that zone along the sidelines between Walls and Downs. 2 free agent defensive backs for the Cowboys, and what a tremendous tradition that has been here in Dallas, going back to the days of Cornell Green and of course Benny Barnes. They've done well in picking. Now there they are, 2 men that were not drafted out of college and now star players on that Dallas defense. And for Dixon, trying to cool off on the sidelines.
Throw cold water on those dogs. Keep cool over there.
Dog's bark is mellowed. Danielson getting out of bounds.
Oh.
Pressure on from Eugene Lockhart.
Eugene Lockhart, I mentioned it earlier, Dick, has got to be in a pretty good mood today. Just announced yesterday that he'd signed a new contract, 3 years, that'll take him from $79,000 that he expected to make to $160,000. They did insert a clause in that contract that forbids any renegotiation during the length of the contract. But
does that mean anything?
Well, I think it
hasn't
does.
so far.
I think he accepted that. He's come to the sideline now.
3rd down, 13. Cowboys with a very loose, deep defense, and they throw underneath to Ozzie Newsome, but he does not get the first down. Newsome not holding his feet, and Bill Bates to down him at the 38-yard line. Newsome unhappy with himself, and now Marty Schottenheimer will gamble on 4th and about 4 as they'll go for it.
I don't know that I'd want the job of shuttling in plays today. I think those linemen who are running back and forth to the sideline, Lilch is one of the guards, Robert Jackson the other for the Browns, running in and out. Their tongues have got to be hanging out.
Well, you know why they're roaring here in Texas Stadium. They've just announced the Philadelphia score. The Eagles leading the Redskins. And 2-minute warning is given. 2 minutes left. The timeout with a score. In Texas, the Cowboys 20. The Cleveland Browns 7.
As the 2-minute warning will be given.
Yeah. I don't know who else you'd get.
Dennis Thurman if White won't do it.
Yeah.
Because he got that one. Okay. All right. Oh boy, look at 53. 63.
Cody. Yeah. Can you find out if that's the knee he had operated on for us, please? Find out how serious, and is that the knee he had operated on?
Well, they're just so tired.
They're exhausted. Andy, we need a shot of Penn, 59. That's the young linebacker drafted 2nd. Huge shoulder pads. Okay. All right. It's a knee now.
It was the other knee.
Yeah.
10 seconds.
That's a big story, so stay on that. I mean,
That's more important.
if the Browns have an Achilles, it is their offensive line. Cody Rison did not play last year with a knee injury. This knee injury is to the other knee, not the one operated on last season, but they can ill afford to lose Rison. They're already thin in that offensive line.
In fact, I asked Marty Schottenheimer, I said, Marty, if you could go out right now and grab one player, what position would he play? He said, I would grab it, believe it or not, a big offensive lineman. He said, we need stability in our offensive line. Well, if that's a serious injury, that takes them in the exactly opposite direction, because Cody Rison has proven that he's a fine tackle, offensive tackle, and he's a stabilizing influence in that young line.
Meanwhile, replacement in Ricky Bolden. Jesse Penn with his big shoulder pad. Look at the size of those shoulder pads. You could land airplanes on those.
I asked him about that. He said, I may grow into them.
4th down and 4 as the Browns forced to gamble, and it's Earnest Byner. 45-50. Now the 45-40 looking for blocks. 35-30. And Byner out of bounds at the Dallas 26. Quite a play for the Browns. So Cleveland looking for the pass, and said the snap to Byner, the up back, and he circles left end for 36 yards.
Byner stepping right in front of the quarterback, taking the direct snap. That's a real surprise. I have never seen a team run that in the game. I've seen it in practice. Really took the whole Dallas defense by shock, and Byner gets down, makes the most of it as he gets way down the field to the 26-yard line.
Well, he's fumbled today, and I'm sure we'll be reminded that carrying the ball out there is asking for it in the open field. But an excellent 36-yard run with 1:48 left. The Browns, trailing 20-7, could make this one interesting in the final minute. Danielson incomplete, and unintentional contact as Young goes down, covered by Everson Walls.
That's the kind of play, Dick, that would have been a penalty under the old rules. The incidental contact. Watch Walls coming across, eye on the ball. That's the important thing, is not looking at the receiver. His total concentration on the ball. Now, under the old rules, they'd have thrown the flag on that play.
In fact, that's the Barnes Stallworth Super Bowl
Very
call.
famous call.
Eats the Tex Ram of the Cowboys that may well have helped Pittsburgh to win that Super Bowl. 2nd and 10 with 1:42 left. Danielson breaking out of the pocket and diving to the 15-yard line, was not in the grasp and hold of Kevin Brooks, who almost had the sack.
Quarterback draw, I think, Dick. It looked to me like it was a very intentional run. Danielson back, really was not looking for receivers, and he was lucky to pop it, but once he popped it, quite a bit of room.
Time called for the measurement. That will aid the Browns indeed, because with 1:32 left, then they don't have to use a timeout. Of course, Marty Schottenheimer already thinking on the sidelines, a quick touchdown and onside kick, and hey, this game might be ours yet. Somewhat of a miracle thought, but the Browns are not dead. It is 2nd and inches. Clock will start. Danielson, the quick hitter, out to Adams, and a first down at the 11-yard line. Everson Walls with a tackle. The clock is running.
That ball forced Adams to turn, put him in an awkward position. He couldn't get out of bounds. He couldn't get upfield. They're going to lose a lot of time on this play, Dick.
They have already. Danielson from the shotgun. Flag down. Underneath it goes to Harry Holt, the tight end, and he is smothered after a 4 or 5 yard gain. Clock will stop with a penalty call.
Timing appeared to be off between center and quarterback. May have resulted in a mix-up, yes.
Motion against Cleveland, and look at the Cowboys, 2 or 3 of them down on one knee as they wait for the penalty word. There's a lot of fatigue and heat exhaustion here. Look at Randy White and Jeffcoat, who have been charging all day from that front forward defensive line.
Offense number 74. Illegal motion. 5 yards. Still first down.
Well, the big horses suffer the worst in this kind of weather, and when you have players like Randy White, and I think Tom Landry's compliment to him is that he goes all out on every play, like it was the most important play of a championship game. And when you sell out like that on every play, at the end of a day like this, you have a hard time crawling back to the stadium.
The Bengals now lead the Chargers 41-34. From the 16-yard line, a full blitz by the Cowboys. Danielson dumps it off into the corner. He had 2 men fairly close, Holt and Adams. But the pressure, and there's the final. The Eagles have defeated the Redskins 19-6. So Washington, but for a couple of crucial calls last week, could be 0-3. They were fortunate to beat Houston.
They talked about, Joe Gibbs talked about not playing well until their backs were against the wall. I think maybe now is the time if it's going to happen for the Skins.
Meanwhile, the Giants were beating St. Louis, the only undefeated team in the Cowboys division, the NFC East. So it could be a very big day for Dallas. Leading 20-7, final minute. Danielson to Ozzie Newsome, who gets it out of bounds at the 7-yard line. Tackled by Bill Bates, a 9-yard gain for Newsome with 30 seconds left. Ozzie Newsome, what a play. Hasn't missed a start since high school. In fact, he's never missed a start, and now is the number 2 NFL tight end in receptions all time, and undoubtedly will pass Jackie Smith, who played some of his years here in Dallas after great seasons with the Cardinals.
Big 3rd down call here. Mostly for pride, but very important to these Cleveland Browns.
3rd and 6, 7 yards for a touchdown. And it's a quarterback draw. Does not work. Kevin Brooks, the rookie from Michigan, read it perfectly, and Danielson spends a timeout. And with a timeout, we break the score, 20-7 Dallas.
Larry?
You're trying to figure out what we're going to do here.
I don't know whether I tried to get your attention with that take me light a few times. We had some really wonderful stuff through that telestrator. Is that light out? Okay. We really had good stuff inside on those defensive linemen. What was going on? The one shot where Danielson went back, you could tell he wasn't back to throw the football. He just went back and set up for the quarterback draw. You know, and it was a nice shot that way. I can't remember. We had a couple of others. That the one we had on the blitz was beautiful, but.
Tom Landry looking for still another victory in his great 26-year career here in Dallas. Marty Schottenheimer, in just his second season, replaced Sam Rutigliano at midseason last year. 4th down for the Browns. They can get a first down without a touchdown, but they need the quick score. Danielson to Adams, knocked down. Everson Walls, what a cornerback he is. One interception today, knocks it away, and with it goes the final hope of the Cleveland Browns. It's interesting, and as Marty Schottenheimer goes back home, he'll be thinking about the plays in the end zone. A 27 score. 2 times the Browns stopped in the end zone, and this one a third.
They had exhibited their ability to score from inside the 20, had a wonderful streak going. The Cowboys, however, have matched them with a strong defense today to really make it difficult. And how much different this game could be had they been able to capitalize on those early opportunities.
Well, it's whoever's going to get the ball last, apparently, in Cincinnati. 41 all in the 4th. And now just to run out the clock for the Cowboys and Danny White. And we're going to stay with us. We'll be chatting with Danny White, and of course we'll have all the scores for you on NFL 85. A couple of finals we've already given to you. Pittsburgh a winner and Philadelphia an upset winner. Marty Schottenheimer, a wave to the veteran Tom Landry. Undoubtedly they will meet again. It's over here at Texas Stadium. The Cowboys 20, the Browns 7. Danny White had a superb day, and one of the big plays, of course, his touchdown reception. In case you weren't with us earlier, when out of the shotgun, he just kind of lazied his way into the left flat. James Jones took the ball to the right as if he were running, stopped, and threw transcontinentally back to Danny White for a touchdown, and that play gave the Cowboys a 17-0 lead and pretty much put it out of sight for Cleveland Browns. Marty Schottenheimer, they finally get a touchdown on a Byner 1-yard run in the 4th quarter. Cosmetic score 20-7. We'll be back in a chat with Danny White in Dallas in just a moment. Who does the scores? NFL 85? All right, Bob and Danny White standing by. A terrific afternoon. 20 for 33 and a touchdown throwing. He caught the 12-yarder for a score of his own and scrambled once 20 yards. Danny, the kind of afternoon that makes the next week one to look forward to.
Well, it really does. It makes preparation for the next one a little bit more fun, and it makes the whole week in general a little bit more fun. This was a good workmanlike game for us tonight, and this is what we need more of.
You left the game in the first half. Wind knocked out?
Yeah, he had me tied up and put his helmet in my rib cage, and it just knocked the wind out of me, is basically all it did.
Did you have the feeling that, oh no, here it comes again?
I tell you, for just a second, I wasn't sure, because it was a pretty good shot. The ribs must be healed pretty well, because if they weren't, they would have popped on them.
Danny, looked like you came out a little conservative. A very heavy emphasis on the running game and the short pass to start this ball game.
Well, it was. That's basically what we try to do in most games, if we can run the ball. If you can run it and move the ball and establish field position, you know, with the defense playing the way ours has been playing lately, that's all we really need to do offensively is eliminate turnovers and play field position.
Very exciting catch of a touchdown pass today. What was going through your mind on that call?
Well, it's the first time I've ever seen a linebacker run faster than the ball. Well, it was, believe it or not, it was the second time we had it called. The first time I fumbled a snap, and I couldn't believe it when Coach Landry called it the second time, but it worked. It worked exactly the way it was designed, and you know, what can you say? It was a good throw, and linebacker bit.
Well, that James Jones going to want your job. You better get back and defend yourself.
Well, yeah, I'm going to work with James, putting a little more mustard on the ball. It was a little floater, and I know what it's like now standing back there as a receiver waiting for the ball.
Thanks for the visit. Congratulations on the win. Danny White on all ends of the scoring today. 20-7 Dallas. Let's go back to NFL 85.
Cleveland Browns please stand up? So far, you don't know what to expect from either of these teams this season. On this day, the Cowboys totally dominated, scoring on their first two possessions and getting a little creative as halfback